Hello and welcome to a CraftySniper gun review video. Now, before we get started on what will be my first ever gun review, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has liked my Facebook site. I'm really chuffed with getting over 300 likes. Big thanks go to LAC and the guys there for spreading the word. At the moment, when I'm not doing a video, I am actually working on a website which will be going live at some point. I haven't got a clue at the moment, it's taken a while to get through that, which is where these videos are going to be based. We're doing them for YouTube, linking them onto my website. Eventually I'll give you the links to that and you can go watch any of my videos that you like. That being said, gun review videos will not be the only videos I'll be putting up. I'll be trying to put up match play videos. And I'm also tinkering with the idea of doing some kind of vlog video, preferably after a match, to give my thoughts on how the match went, how my kit was, just my opinions, my thoughts on the sport. So anyway, without further ado, the reason why you've come to watch this video is of a gun. And the gun myself, I had a choice. I've got a massive collection of airsoft firearms, airsoft guns, and I was kind of really stuck to decide which gun to go with. I thought I could go with some of my big, whopping, massive guns, or I could go with something a bit more different and completely and utterly out there. And I thought I'd go with something that's very dependable. Something that, when you do airsoft, you will have it sat there. You may not even use it all day or any part of the day, but it's there. If the proverbial hits the fan, your main AEG runs out of ammo, you run out of battery life or gas or whatever, and you pull this gun out, it's going to save your airsoft life anyway. And that is the handgun. In this particular case, this is the WE Glock 17, Gen 1 Glock 17 even. So I'm going to try and split these videos into certain parts. Okay, the first part is going to be an external review. The second part will be an internal review, and then the third part is going to be my opinions, my thoughts of when I've been using this gun. Okay, because every gun obviously I've used, I've got my own play tactics and styles to use these guns. I may even do some chronoing with these guns. Obviously, with a handgun, it's pretty low, but anyway, we're going to go on to the external review first. Now, the external review of this Glock, okay, the external materials even, are metal and plastic. Now, you're going to say plastic to an airsoft gun is not a good idea. Actually, the plastic in this gun is fantastic. It's really good quality. It's really solid, it's really sturdy. You can drop this gun, and I have done, and it's not going to break anything. The metal parts on this gun, on the exterior side anyway, is the entire slide top part of the gun here. It's called a slide because it does that. Now, the inside of this gun, the barrel here, which the inner barrel is actually based in, is metal as well. The sights, I do believe, are metal, although on handgun sights are pretty much useless anyway. But yeah, the whole upper half of this gun, which we say is full metal. It's quite weighty, it's quite heavy. When you do fire this gun, obviously this slide is cycling backwards and forwards as you're firing, so there is recoil on this gun. The gun does want to try and jump up with every shot that you do. So if you are going to buy one of these guns, make sure you've got a good firm grip on it to try and cancel out any of that climbing or jumping that the gun will do. That being said, the lower half of the gun, like I say, is plastic. Now, like I said, I've gone for the quality side of the plastic, but this plastic is actually kind of really, it's got grooves in it, it's got good grip parts of it for your hand. If you're using this gun with just your bare hands, it's not going to slide anywhere, because you do have, you've got finger grips here on the actual grips themselves. There actually is a grooved, rough surface. So it's not going to slide out your hand. The trigger guard is actually quite large. I think it's quite large anyway for a gun. So if you're using this gun with a gloved hand. Obviously, the glove being a bit bigger, you're still going to be able to get your finger in there and fire the gun. You do have, although I don't use it, but you do actually have just here at the front an underside rail. Now I have seen quite a few Glock 17s out there, and I've seen real Glock 17s, and the only thing that you can, two things I really see put on these is a torch or a laser sight if you want. Obviously, like I said, the laser sight in airsoft is pretty pointless, especially with the range of this gun. The torch would work well if you're going into a very darkened room or you're in a CQB style fight, blinding your enemy, strobes even, you can get torched at strobe. That's what that underside part would be for. Now, going on to the internals, obviously you've got to strip this gun down. Now, like I said, I've only ever seen a real Glock 17. I've never actually held one, I've never actually fired one, but I do believe the takedown is fairly realistic, if not exactly the same as the real one. What you got to do to this is slide the slide all the way back and lock it in place with the little lock here. You then have a, I don't know whether you can see that, but you have a two bits here. You've got one on the other side, one on this side. You pull them down, pull the slide back, and it doesn't come off. Bit of general force there, but nothing too bad. And now you end up with your lower receiver, your plastic part of the gun, and you end up with the upper receiver. Now, the upper receiver houses obviously the inner barrel. It houses the hop-up unit, hop-up device. This gun does have a fully adjustable hop-up, and I'll actually show you. It's going to be quite hard to do this because it's black on black, but just about there, just below my finger, you can see a little dial. Now that dial is what dials in the hop-up, adding hop, taking hop off. What I've generally found, because the barrel is literally that long, okay, the hop-up isn't going to make a great deal of difference. You're going to get about 20-25 metres. You could hit a target 25 metres. Anything less than 20 metres, you could probably pick body parts. If you aim at the chest at 20 metres, you're going to hit the chest. At 25 metres, you're starting to stretch the range of this gun, and your grouping is going to start getting quite large. So you're probably going to need to put a few more shots down before you actually hit the target. The lower receiver houses the firing mechanism, which I've never taken this gun apart from to clean up and all that, but I'm not going to demonstrate now how to take it apart. Personally, I haven't got a clue. I just know that it works. But yes, you have your firing mechanism here, and that's basically all that's really in it. I mean, there probably is a few other bits in this part of the gun, but for my opinions, for my personal usage, that's just cleaning it up, taking the grit out, re-oiling it, lubing it up again. That's really all you need to do to this to keep it working. But yes, anyway, for like I say, if you want to change your hop up, it's all there. Now, to put this back together again, you have some grooves just here on either side of the lower receiver, and you have the matching part on the rear end of the slide. So putting the slide on top of the upper receiver, top of the lower receiver, sorry. You then slide it so that it mounts onto those rails, carries on, come back. Now you've got to feel for anything that's getting in the way. Sometimes a spring can get caught up, and if you carry on pulling that back, you're going to damage your spring. But other than that, just keep pulling it back nice and slowly until you hear that little click there, and then you can pull it back all the way, and then should let it go. That is the gun now reassembled back together again. Now, also, something that's very, very, very important in airsoft guns is safeties. And this gun has two safeties on this gun. You have one that is, well, actually technically you have three safeties. If you take the magazine out, the thing ain't going to fire. So that's one safety. A second safety is the Glock style trigger. So you can just see there is actually a rise in the middle of the trigger. You're wondering what that is? It's quite simple. If you got your gun in your holster, you grab hold of it in a hurry, you don't get your finger completely and utterly over that whole trigger, okay, the trigger will not pull. Okay, it will not move. No matter if the gun has gas and BBs inside it, and the magazine obviously, it will not fire. You have to get your finger across the middle part of the gun, and then the gun will fire. That is what the real Glock 17 has. So they've copied that mechanism, and it works pretty well. In airsoft terms, yeah, okay, I like the idea that they've copied that, but I've never ever, even when I've been in a real rush to grab hold of this gun and pull it out the holster, I have never not grabbed hold of that part of the middle part of the trigger. So, you know, it doesn't really make much difference to me. Now, there obviously being an airsoft gun, it has what we'll call the airsoft safety. This is not a safety that is actually in the real Glock 17, and this one is called the serial number seal. Serial number safety even. There's a little silver panel just there. Actually does have a serial number on there. I don't know whether that's unique to this particular weapon. My guess is it probably isn't, but who knows? I could be wrong. Could be universal serial numbers. But anyway, you're wondering how this works? It literally is a click. Well, you push towards the rear of the gun, a little click, and now, no matter what, no matter how you press the trigger, the gun will not fire. Even if you have a magazine in it, will not fire. To release that safety, you take the whole serial part and just, God, it's very hard to do without nails, but click it forward so that it is now facing the front end of the gun and back to your safety, back to your gun firing. Now, we're going to talk about the magazine now. The magazine, obviously being a gas gun, is full metal and is quite heavy. It has to be for holding the quite high pressures that are in here. The magazine will hold, I think, around the 25 BBs plus one in the chamber. I'm not 100% on that. I just kind of shove BBs in and away we go. Now, these magazines are not easy to load up properly. It's not just a case of there's a single line of BBs like in some handguns. The BBs actually stagger across, so you get twice as many as if it was in a complete line. You're wondering how the heck you load that up. You've got a spring, and there's a plastic thing just up here, and you take that and pull it all the way down. And this exposes a little section of the magazine just here that is now wide enough to allow BBs in. So you get a speed loader, and you start putting BBs in, and you've got to obviously quickly, you know, shake the magazine around a bit so that your BBs start to stagger instead of getting gaps in them or anything like that. Now, what I will say is anyone that has one of these guns or is thinking about getting one of these guns and you want to load this gun up really quickly, okay, don't just release the spring. Don't just let it go and let it smack the BBs underneath. A, you'll probably damage some of the BBs. B, at worst, you'll actually break the BB completely, and you can send shards of plastic up into the gun. Obviously, you know, it could get up to your hot rubber and split that. You know, it's not a good idea. So you just generally release the spring until it reaches the last BB. Now, as I was saying, obviously it's metal. It's not completely metal. There are some plastic parts on this gun, on this magazine even. Obviously, like I say, the bit on the spring, that's plastic. The slide at the bottom here, which does slide off, that's plastic. And this bit here, this is what goes into your gun and will actually feed the BBs into the gun. It is plastic. I have seen people drop these end on to the concrete and they break that. That little bit of plastic there snaps. This magazine is useless, and I don't know whether you can buy aftermarket parts for these magazines. I'm not 100%. You probably can now. Like I said, I'm not sure. To be safe, don't drop the magazine. Now, obviously, I've said this is a gas gun, and the gas that I'm using in this gun at the moment is WE green gas. Now, that's not a shameful advertising or anything. It's just the gas I got hold of. What you will find, okay, is in the summer, the gas, I'm not going to explain how this happens because I'm not a scientist, but basically the gas pressure is higher, so your FPSs of the gun will go up. Not massively, not over 350, well, it shouldn't go over 350, but the pressure will go up. So you get more bang out of your gas Glock 17. Likewise, in winter, when the temperatures drop down, if they're just above 0, the gun should fire. And it should cycle through correctly and all that, but you'll start to lose a bit of the pressures. Now, if you start getting into negative temperatures, the gun will vent. Okay, now this is the worst thing that can happen. A, it's a waste of money, and B, it gives away your position. Okay, so I want to picture the scenario. You've got your Glock 17. You're in a field. You're trying to shoot. You're behind your cover. Let's say it's a big tree, for instance. You got your Glock out. You're magged up. You're gassed up. You're ready to go. You put the mag in. You pull the trigger, and the whole thing, the whole magazine, will just vent because it's that cold. The seals will stay open, and the gas just comes flying out of the top of the magazine, I do believe. Like I said, it's a waste of money because all the gas will go, and it gives away your position because there's a massive, great big cloud of green gas floating around. I would say don't use these guns when it gets really, really, really cold. Some guns don't really vent until it's really freezing. This gun has never vented. However, that being said, I don't use it that often because it's a sidearm, and during winter I probably won't use it at all. So I've been lucky, it hasn't vented. Now anyway, as I said at the start of this video, I'm going to do a chrono test of this gun. Now it's not going to test the accuracy of the gun, I'm just going to chrono it through with the hop setting that this gun is set at now. I do know the range is about 20 odd meters with this gun. I am using .2 ammunition. Now, to be honest with you, you probably could get away with using .25s. I wouldn't use anything higher than that, it's a complete waste. But being that this gun is usually just a bang, 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 bang spray and just get your head down and bug out, I just use .2s, it makes no difference. There isn't that much difference between 2s and 2.5s in this particular gun. So anyway, that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go over to the chronoing section and we'll see you there. Okay, welcome back to the chronoing test of the WE Glock 17. We've got our mag gassed up, we've got BBs in it, you see them in there. We're using .2 ammunition. We have our chrono set up to read in .2 ammunition. And we're going to see what this gun actually chronos at with the hop setting that I've put on for my personal use. So anyway, to load the gun, load the magazine like so, until you get a click, rack the gun back. Gun is now loaded, gun is hot. Now, also like I was saying before with the safeties, we're wearing glasses just in case any of these BBs come shooting back. Obviously, whenever using an airsoft gun, always use eye protection. Minimum eye protection. Anyway, first shot of the WE, get that back into frame, first shot of the WE Glock 17, 293.1. Didn't register. 298, dead. Time out. 243.1. 243. 290. 291. 287. And the last one, 288.5. Now, you may be wondering why they're jumping around, the FPSs are jumping around so much. It could be because of the temperature, it could be the temperature of the gas, it could be the fact this gun hasn't been used in a few weeks. But basically, it's a gas gun, the FPSs are going to change a little bit per shot. But you're going to get, roughly speaking, about 270 to 300 on the WE Glock 17. Anyway, back to my final thoughts on the WE Glock 17. Like I said, the FPSs jumped around a bit, but that's because it's a gas gun. So, my final thoughts on this gun. Is it worth it? Is it worth the £100 that you're going to spend on this gun? And my answer is yes, because it may not happen at your next match, it may not happen at the match after that, but there will be a time when your gun will drop dead, your main gun will drop dead, and you'll need something a little bit smaller. And that's when the sidearms come into their own. Plus, you may want to have to be tasked with clearing out a building, You want a weapon system that can shoot 20 odd metres. Well, in the room it's not going to be 20 metres long, so you're going to have good accuracy with one of these, and it's also small enough so that you can get around without banging into anything. So again, sidearms are useful. I'm going to wrap it up there. Not much more I can say about the WE Glock 17. I will put a link down below to where you can buy this particular gun from. I'll also put a link in to do my Facebook site. Once again, big thank you for everyone that has liked my Facebook site, CraftySnipers, Airsoft Snipers. I can't even remember my name of my own Facebook site, it's that bad. But anyway, big thank you. Like I said, I'll drop a link. Anyone who watches this video, if you want to pop on over to the Facebook site, I've got photos up with the rest of my kit, rest of my guns that are there. All I can say is, thank you very much for watching. I've been CraftySniper, and this has been the gun review video of the WE Glock 17.